Hi, it's Kleina. Just popping in to do a bonus project from the little packages and the sleigh ride die sets. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take these panel, so these form this square panel, and I'm going to stack these up and make a background from them. Then I'm going to take a sentiment from the sleigh ride die set. You get 2 sentiments in this kit, so you get the Merry Christmas and the sleigh rides. I'm going to take my sleigh ride die, and that's going to be the topper for my card. And then also what I'll do is I'll take this little star here and I'll decoupage that on top and add some embellishment. Now I've cut out some of my little background panels. Now there's several different ways that I could actually lay these out on my card. So let's just take a piece of white cardstock. Now what I can do is I can alternate them and make like a chevron pattern. So have them go in different ways. So that's one way I can do it. Then obviously the bigger pattern you get, the more effective it will be when you do that chevron. But I think because I'm obviously making a Christmas card and I want to do that kind of candy cane stripe look, I'm going to have them all going in the same direction. So I'll just glue those down in a second. That's what my background panel is going to look like. But if you were to cut 2 lots and crisscross them, you get really cool like lattice effect. So imagine if you pop some of those next to each other, kind of like composites, you know, the way you butt them up next to each other. But how about that? Isn't that cool? I just love that kind of lattice basket weave kind of effect that you get. So there are other ways that you can use these. Just because they are one small element in a die set doesn't mean you can't get more life from it. It would be criminal if you only just got a die set, received it, spent your hard-earned money on it, and you only use it the way it's intended. Think of every little piece that you've got in your die sets and think, can I use that in a different way? And if you can, do share it in the group, because, you know, it's great if we can all inspire each other. My piece of cardstock is larger than the piece I need, so I'm just going to go ahead and just glue these down next to each other to create a larger panel, and then I will trim it afterwards. So that's my panel, my 6 little pieces. Obviously, if you wanted to do a square card, just do another 3, and then you'd have a, you know, 9 squares, you'd have a square panel. Okay, so this is a 4x6 card. If I want the borders even all the way around, I think I just need to trim a little bit off, maybe ½ an inch, just off one side. So I'll go ahead and do that. See if that's enough. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and stick my panel down to my card. I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. And no doubt you've seen this trick. What you do is you fold back a little section from each side. I'm sure you've seen this many times, but it is one of the best things I ever learned. So you just turn over a little section from each side. Now, when you're offering that up to your card front, on the one hand, it's slightly elevated, so the stick, because you've only got one little bit on each corner showing, it allows you to move it around. And then when you're completely happy, you press down and it'll be just enough to hold it, and then you pull out the ends, all 4 pieces, nice and gently. If you pull it too quickly, it can kind of rip, and then you trying to get it out. Yeah, but nice and gently, and then that's it. You've got your perfect placement. Okay, so that's my panel. Now for my topper from my card, what I'm doing is I'm taking a sentiment from the Sleigh Bride collection. So what I've done is I've cut it out a couple of times, but I want the pieces on where it says rides to stay in, so I've put some tape on the back. I'll take that tape off, but I don't want it to grab too quickly, so I'll put some glue over that, and then I'll add some glue everywhere else, and then that'll give me the wiggle room time to get it in the right place, and that tape won't grab. So what I've done is I've cut it in gold mirror card, and then I've die cut just that bottom section from green cardstock, and I've paper pieced just the word rides. So when you use your sentiments on your sleigh, you're unlikely to even need to paper piece them, because you get the colour of your sleigh to peek through. But because this is going onto a busy background, the word rides might not stand out very clearly. So paper piecing them like this will make it nice and clear what our sentiment is. You'll be able to read it nicely. Okay, so now that's our sentiment, and see, we've got a bit of body to it because it's a couple of layers thicker. But then what I want to do is I want to put it onto my card, but I want to raise it up a little bit more. So I'm going to pop some glue dots behind it. So I've just snipped my glue dot. I don't know if you can see that there. I've just snipped my glue dot into 4. So I've put 3 glue dots along the bottom here, and then I've put 1/4 of a glue dot behind the little 2 stars on the edge. To cut your glue dot, when you take it off, obviously part of it's exposed. So on a previous one that you will have used, just take the little bit of backing and pop it over the top, so then it's kind of non-stick both sides, and then you can snip it with your scissors. Okay, so I want to put that on. Right, now I've got to decide, do I want it straight, do I want it at a jaunty angle? Yeah, I think a bit of a jaunty angle might be nice. Just a little bit. So those 3D glue dots and the fact that we've layered up a couple of layers of cardstock gives a little bit of a shadow, which helps kind of set back from that busy background pattern that we've got. Now on the Sleigh die pack, we've got these little stars here. So I've got 2 of those in glitter card, and I'm going to use the other 2, well, the other half of that glue dot. So I've got the other half here. I'm going to snip that into quarters, and I'm going to pop one behind each of these little stars. And I'm going to decoupage them up onto the outside 2 little stars there, but they've got a little bit of extra dimension. So all of a sudden our sentiment's looking way more dimensional. We've got it elevated with the glue dots, then we've got 3 layers, which gives it a bit more dimension, and then we've got these that have got glue dots in between as well. And then a final little touch of dimension. Let's pop a couple of the small gems. And there we have it, a fun little extra card that you can make using just a couple of elements from your Sleigh Rides kit and your little packages die set as well. So we've got a little dimensional topper on top of a little background that we've made using one of the panels from the little packages.